Well, we will Royal Eruption our opponent. Chandra's Incinerator. Chandra's Incinerator. Chandra's Incinerator. And your go. Please don't wrath us. Need some new Commander cards? Well, you can pre-order Commander Legends now from our amazing sponsor, Card Kingdom. Just head on over to cardkingdom.com. Hello, everyone. It's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Budget Magic, and who do we have a sweet one this week? So, a few days ago, I found this deck list that someone had featuring Chandra's Incinerator in Standard. And it was like a Gruul Stompy deck. And the deck itself, it was like kind of interesting. But it got me thinking about Chandra's Incinerator. And it seemed like, with a little bit of work and some careful deck building, maybe we could make a really sweet Chandra's Incinerator budget deck for Standard. And that's what we're playing today. I'm calling it Big Red. I don't know, it could be like Mono Red Taunter, Mono Red Giants, Mono Red Incinerator, but essentially, when you hear red in Standard, you think, okay, like little 1 and 2 drops, attack, 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 Ember Cleave. Our deck has a very different plan, even though it's still a Mono Red deck. So let's talk about this deck, which is only $55 a paper, so essentially ultra budget in paper, and get to our games, see Big Red in action, and some of the cool synergies in this deck. So Big Red, it is a Chandra's Incinerator deck. So Chandra's Incinerator, we've played it before in Modern, a 6-mana 6/6 trample. The big deal is it gets X less to cast, where X's amount of non-combat damage weed out to our opponent's this turn. And then if one of our sources would deal non-combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to a creature or planeswalker that player controls. So in Modern, it's really easy to build around this. You just take in like Lightning Bolt or Rift Bolt, and then cast it like on turn 2 as a 1-mana 6/6. In Standard, it takes a little bit more work. We're not playing this on turn 2, but we can reduce the cost, and once it's on the battlefield, it can do some really absurd things where we're free to throw damage at our opponent's face, and that damage is going to also take down our opponent's creatures or their planeswalkers. So what are we doing with Chandra's Incinerator? And step 1 is we do have a bunch of just straight up birds, so we can throw Spikefield Hazard, Shocks, Royal Eruption, Slaying Fires at our opponent's face to reduce the cost. Also, all these cards are insane once we have Chandra's Incinerator out, because all of a sudden our Royal Eruption is a Searing Blaze. It's 3 to our opponent and 3 to one of their things. Slaying Fire is 4 to our opponent, 4 to one of their things. Plus, these cards also give us a bunch of removal. Against creature decks, we can just kill your Edgewell Innkeepers and snipe down all your random threats. So this is one of our plans, but the more exciting plan is our creatures. Every single creature in our deck, in one way or another, deals non-combat damage to our opponent, except for one that we'll talk about in a minute, and that one kind of does as well. So, Bonecrusher Giant, you know what it does. It's an expensive shock that becomes a creature. Tectonic Giant, one of the sweetest cards in our deck. When we attack, it can deal 3 damage to each opponent. That's going to reduce the cost of Incinerator. So one of the easiest ways to get Incinerator down is just play Tectonic Giant on turn 4, attack with it the next turn, hit our opponent for 3, get Chandra's Incinerator down to 3 mana, Brash Taunter, fight something, but then when we fight something, we get to redirect that damage to our opponent, or if it takes damage some other way. So that's non-combat damage as well. So all of these creatures are helping reduce the cost of Chandra's Incinerator, and then they are even more crazy once we get Incinerator down. Like, Tectonic Giant is attack, hit you for 3, shoot down one of your creatures, thanks to Chandra's Incinerator, and have this giant attacking. Brash Taunter is hilarious. We, like, fight your thing, which then damages Brash Taunter, which then redirects the damage to our opponent's face, which then redirects that damage again to one of our opponent's creatures. It's like this ping pong of damage going all over the place. So that's the main plan of the deck. That's what we're really trying to do. And the last piece of the puzzle to push the deck into overdrive, Torbrand, Thrain of Redfell, just +2 damage to all of our red stuff. So this means Bonecrusher is shocking for 4. Tectonic Giant, when it attacks, can hit for 5, which is exactly enough to make Chandra's Incinerator down to 1 mana. Brash Taunter's fighting gets better, as does its 3 direction. Chandra's Incinerator gets even crazier, and that's basically the idea of the deck. Otherwise, since we're a bigger, slower red deck, we got Base by its Tome to dig through our deck, to find our pieces, to get things set up. Mana Base It's all mountains, along with our Spikefield Hazard that we talked about before, which can be played as a land if we need to. Sideboard-wise, get a bunch more removal, Redcap Melee, Soul Spear, Shredded Sails, Phoenix Vast, Ox of Agonis for getting milled over against rogues, Robber the Rich to sneak and hasty damage, steal cards against control, and that is Big Red for Standard. That's our Budget Magic deck for this week. Let's jump into some games, see this ridiculous... I don't even know if this deck's sweet. This deck just has really sneaky sweet synergies. Just ridiculous Big Red deck in action. Thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit with the wrap-up. All right, Budget Magic time. We are heading to Standard this week to play Red, but not your traditional Red deck. We are playing Big Red in Standard, and sounds fine. We got a Maze Mind Tome, so... I mean, if you got the Tome, life can never be too bad. Otherwise, I mean, Torbrand's good. We could use some more action, but, yeah, Mountain Go. See what our opponent's up to. Okay. Well, Mountain and Tomb. Go. Alright, so it looks like Green-White Adventures. No Scry this turn. Let's just play the Mountain, shock the Innkeeper. I mean, I think we can Tectonic Giant into Torbrand, probably. Skyclave Apparition. Alright, that's annoying. Well, draw a card. Opponent eats our Tomb. Yeah, let's Tectonic Giant. Go. Tap land. Ooh, Incinerator. Oh, this is sweet. Well, go to combat. Attack. Hit our opponent for 3. Opponent takes it. Incinerator. Bone Crusher. Your face. Oh, no! They had a giant killer! I mean, this is still fine, but oh, that would have been such a sweet turn. Opponent, land, Questing Beast, and a giant killer. Gets and hits us. Well, play Torbrand. Go attacking. Yeah, hit you for 5. Boy, we're like a bird spell away. What you got, opponent? What you? We do have a lot of bird spells in the deck. Tectonic Giant's a sweet card. I don't know why no one ever plays it, but it is a sweet card. Opponent passes. Spikefield Hazard. I'll go to combat. Opponent taps. Well, Tectonic Giant. Pass the turn. So, I mean, we have a Lightning Bolt in hand. Shepherd of the Flock. Yeah, let's kill this apparition. Fizzle the Shepherd. And, opponent might be in a bit of trouble now. Big Red, Big Red. And opponent, Big Dad scoops it up. Yeah, that went super well. Okay. Okay. Well, against this deck, I guess we just want a bit more removal. I mean, we already have a lot of removal, which is good. But Soul Seer might be worth it. Actually, do we even want... Maybe we just run it back. I mean, we have Spikefield Hazard, Shock, Royal Eruption, Bone Crusher Giant, Slaying Fire. You know what? Let's just... I mean, Redcap Melee, no. Robber the Rich, no. Shredded Sails, no. Phoenix Dash, no. Run it back. Run it back! This feels like it might just be a good Big Red matchup. Oh, the Incinerator play was going to be so sweet if our opponent didn't have the blowouts. Well, alright, we'll keep it. No removal's annoying. I mean, we have a ton of it in our deck. The question is going to be, do we find it? Brash Taunter seems pretty funny against our opponent's deck. I mean, and we have the Tome. Like last game, like, when you got the Tome, it's hard for things to be too bad, because worst case we can start scrying to get rid of extra lands, dig fraction. Slaying Fire's good. That might help us get this Incinerator down at some point. Opponent, Mammoth. Well, let's scry. Shock. Let's go... Actually, no, we'll keep it. That can deal with the Innkeeper in the future. I think this turn we're probably just slaying the Mammoth, I think. We can't let our opponent easily get down a Great Henge. That would be an issue. Alright, there's a Questing Beast. Well, scry. Taunter 2 to the bottom at this point. Opponent hits us. Well, scry. Keep Slaying Fire. Slay the Questing Beast. Play the Mountain. Pass the turn. Okay, Questing Beast dealt with. Land for our opponent. Vivian. Alright, that is annoying. Mostly because of the card draw potential. Yeah, opponent gets in, hits us. Well, let's cash in this tome. We did not get to draw a single card, but we did scry some stuff to the bottom, so we got some value. No, we don't want the mountain. So opponent could have Giant Killer in hand. Yeah, let's just run out Taunter this turn. This Vivian is a concern, because this Vivian can just let our opponent go off with card advantage, which that is something we're worried about. Alright, gonna take down the Vivs, play a Mammoth, get something else. Alright, gets an Innkeeper. Plains, grows the Mammoth. Oh, this could have went worse. Because now we get to shock Vivian, and we have Brash Taunter on defense. So I actually kind of like where we're at now. I mean, if our opponent can somehow kill Brash Taunter, it gets worse. Shepherd of the Flock to draw a card. Alright, yeah. Opponent passes. Well, play a Mountain. Shock Vivian. Yeah, right. I guess we gotta let our opponent have a turn with this Innkeeper, which I don't like. But I think we need to be able to block and then fight. Rather than just fight the Innkeeper and then take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, down to 13. Like, that's a ridiculous amount of damage. So opponent gets to draw some cards this turn. But as long as Taunter lives. Alright, opponent goes with the big attack. So we block Shepherd of the Flock. Drop to 9. Oh, wait, why didn't it? We said a stop! Oh, Arena. Another Vivian. Well, fight the Innkeeper. Opponent saves it. Alright, opponent's staying alive. Makes a dork. Well, play an Incinerator. Play a land. Oh, but our opponent gets to tap with a big board here. We might be in trouble. Yeah, this ended up being kind of an awkward draw for us. Opponent grows the Mammoth, sure, whatever. The problem is our opponent's going to get to draw a bunch of cards. That is the issue. Or they have something ridiculous. Tapping a ton of... Oh. Alright. Fights the Incinerator. Goes to combat. Well, we get to block and 9 you. Are we dead? Oh yeah, this is actually exactly lethal. Alright. Oh, and that one had trample. Okay, sure. Alright, so that was a bit of a slow hand for us and a fast hand for our opponent. We're on the play for game number 3 though, and I expect things to be better than last game, most likely, hopefully. We will play first. The all land hand, we will mulligan. The no land hand. Well, we're gonna trust the magic gods. We probably will end up regretting this, but land go. Yeah, wrong side of the variant stick at the moment. Opponent makes a Lovestruck Beast token. Well, we draw land, so that does mean we get to play magic at least. Maze Mind Tome go. Tap land for our opponent. Gets in for 1. Well, let's scry. Keep the land. There is the Innkeeper. Well, we draw. Kill the Innkeeper. Play land. Pass the turn. I mean, as long as we keep hitting our lands, we're okay. Plains for our opponent. Mammoth. Well, we will scry. Tectonic Giant gonna go bottom, I think. We really gotta hit our lands. Opponent hits us. Well, scry. There's a land. Well, slay the Mammoth. Play a mountain, pass the turn. Opponent. Scavenging Ooze, sure. Gets in, hits us. Well, play Torbrand. Pass the turn. Opponent goes to start growing the Ooze. Opponent. Goes to combat attacks. I think we just block. Like, we're going to trade, but I think that's fine. This also eats a mana, and then we'll flip the tome, gain some life, look for a land. Alright, well, that's not a land, but we'll keep Tectonic Giant. Lovestruck Beast token. Well, Tectonic Giant. Does not line up super well with these Lovestruck Beasts, unfortunately. Opponent passes. Land untapped, Lovestruck Beast. I'll play Maze Mind's Tome. Draw a card. Ugh, there's a land, but it's a bit on the slow side. Pass the turn. Yeah, these Taunters are they're going to come down, but they're coming down a lot slower than we wanted. And our opponent hit their land number 4, so now they're to, like, Questing Beast, potentially Vivian. Also the Great Henge. Yeah, it's an issue. I'll play Brash Taunter. Opponent going to start gaining life. We will pass the turn. Great Henge is busted, though. It's just a busted Magic card. Yeah, that probably is going to steal the win for our opponent, I would assume. Skyclave Apparition. Draws a card. Yeah. Hits the Tectonic Giant. And Shepherd of the Flocks, the Skyclave Apparition. Yeah, I mean, Great Henge is busted. TLDR, that is it. There's not anything else to say other than it is a broken card. Well, we will scry. Royal Eruption to the bottom. Hey, opponent gets to draw a card. Well, scry with Maze Mind's Tome. Bone Crusher to the bottom. I'll play Brash Taunter. Spike Field Hazard. Opponents saying nice as they draw a card every time they play a spell. Opponent's definition of nice is maybe different than ours. I would consider the Great Henge to be nice, but apparently our opponent thinks 5-mana 1/1s are the actual definition of nice. Brash Taunter is good against our opponent's deck, though. Like, that does shut down the Lovestruck Beast. Skyclave Apparition, gonna go after our Maze Mind's Tome, gonna draw a card. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Are the Taunters enough? And what answers might our opponent have? There's an Innkeeper to draw even more cards. Well, I mean, maybe the Taunters get there. Giant Killer to draw even more cards. Yeah, I mean, this Great Henge is winning our opponent the game here, unfortunately. Giant Killer draws 2 cards. Yeah, I mean, that's it. Opponent passes. We draw a mountain. We play the mountain. We pass the turn. I think we're dying, though. Like, I don't think we can actually win from here. This Great Henge is just, it's won our opponent the game. There's nothing else to say about it other than the Great Henge won our opponent the game. Opponent can make other stuff indestructible. If they attack us, it's good. Well, we will fight. Hit our opponent to 21. I don't think our opponent can attack, though. If they attack, I think they die. Oh, we win. Okay, just kidding. Life is great. So we block here. Oh, we win! Oh my goodness, maybe these Brash Taunters are just undefeatable. Fight. Hit ya. Shock your face. 13. Maybe the Great Henge is not going to win our opponent the game. Fight. Fight! Oh! Oh, Taunters! Opponent went off, but Taunters got there. I take it all back. Taunter's too good. Big Red. Oh, after my little mini ramble about how good the Great Henge was. I mean, at the same time, I kind of think our opponent might have punted. I don't know, like, could they attack there? They would have lived another turn. I think what they needed to do was make the Angels not attack. As counterintuitive as it is, make the Angels not attack. We would not have had enough damage to actually win the game if they didn't attack. And then the next turn, their attack plus the Angels, I think they could have one-shot us. So I think we got a little bit lucky that our opponent maybe didn't play it exactly the best way, but okay, we'll take it. We beat a Great Henge. Sweet! Tawny Daughter did. Got him. All right. Budget Magic time. We are big redding in Standard, playing some definitely not traditional red. Yeah, all right. I mean, sure. Burn spells and a Taunter, we'll keep it. Ooh. All right, our burn spells should be good here. Hey. All right, let's play the tap land. So opponent seems to be some sort of sacrifice deck, mono black sack maybe. Gets and hits us. And Null Priest. Well, play a land and I want a Maze Mind Tome, but I also don't want to get too far behind. Yeah, let's Tome. That's fine. We can take our beats for now, I think. Start burning stuff next turn. Kind of regret playing this Spikefield Cave now that we hit another land. Opponent gets and hits us. Down to 16. Untap land. Scavenger. All right, let's scry. Mountain definitely to the bottom. Draw another mountain. Well, kill the Scavenger. Play a land. Pass the turn. Opponent gets and hits us. Down to 13. We will eventually gain some life back with this Tome, which is nice. Opponent plays a Swamp. Ooh, all right, that's good. Well, scry. Do we even want... Yeah, I guess we'll keep Royal Eruption. Keep Royal Eruption, draw a card. Opponent probably has some removal in hand that isn't doing anything. Kill the Null Priest. Pass the turn, we can start drawing with Tome. Next turn, we can get down... Well, we can maybe get down Brash Taunter. Little worried about an Edict effect. Especially Rankle would be bad. Opponent gets and hits us. Sure. Down to 12. Another Null Priest. Well, draw a card. More mountains. Huh. Yeah, let's wait. Ooh, Incinerator. Okay. So I kind of feel like if our opponent had Rankle, they would have played Rankle. On the other hand... So our opponent's got to have removal in hand. That's got to be removal. Yeah, let's just... Yeah, let's Royal Eruption. Kill Null Priest. Alright, opponent sacks to draw some cards. Alright, well, pass the turn. About it. Hits us. Down to 11 temporarily. Swamp. Skyclave Shade. Well, let's draw a card. Well, I guess it's Taunter time. Play a Taunter. Play a land, pass the turn. I mean, if we get Rankled, I'm going to be super sad. I feel like they would have played it if they could have. Alright, Serrated Scorpion, sure. Opponent passes. Well, in that case, land. Yeah, let's pass this turn. Pass for now. We can Taunter plus Slaying Fire. Then next turn, we can play the second Taunter and still have up a Taunter activation. I mean, I think at this point, our plan is just to hopefully burn our opponent out. Wow, opponent's going to get frisky. Okay. We will block. Take one. Hit our opponent for one. Ooh, Reanimation. Agadim's Awakening. Alright, so we Slang Fire the Scavenger. Fight the Shade. Draw more mountains. We'll play the land. Play a Taunter. Pass the turn. Oh, no. Okay. Oh, wait. No, this is fine. Alright, I think this just kills our opponent. You should not play big creatures into Brash Taunters. The end result is you die. So we go to 6. Blood Chief's Thirst hits us to 4. And taunted? Oh, Brash Taunter's too good. It looks so janky, but it's so good. It's really so good. All right, so opponent playing mono black, and I honestly don't know if we changed much. Like, our removal felt good. Taunter felt great. I could see an argument for, like, Oxyvagonus, maybe. How good is Shock? Like, is Shock actually good? I could see trimming, like, a couple of Shocks. Yeah, let's try it like that. And bringing in a couple of Graveyard Threats. It's really hilarious how some decks just straight up can't beat Taunters. Like, it punishes people for playing big creatures, and it actually does it pretty effectively. Like, surprisingly effectively. Well, we're on the draw. I guess being on the draw might be an argument for keeping Shock in. Oh, you got a Shock anyway. Alright. Well, we'll keep. Swamp for our opponent. Archfiend's Vessel. Well, just in case our opponent has shenanigans, let's exile that. Pass the turn. Swamp for our opponent. Archfiend. Ooh, Vessel number 2. Well, Mountain, and go. We don't actually have Graveyard Hate. We could throw a bunch of burn spells at our opponent's face to get down this Incinerator, but it's kind of risky because our opponent presumably has a lot of removal. Hits us for what? Passes. Tome is a good one. Very happy seeing a Tome. That's exactly what we needed. Get some card draw going. Hopefully find some more Tomes. And then we figure out what we got to do with this Incinerator. Serrated Scorpion. Sure. About it. Gets and hits us. Yeah, let's wait on Tome. I think we're actually going to start drawing cards with Tome. Pass the turn. Try to get full value out of it. I really, like, the fact that our opponent has so many cards in hand, they're not playing them, definitely makes me feel like our opponent has several removal spells in hand. Alright, Skyclave Shade. Well, let's draw a card. Another Tome Suite. Alright, untap. Mountain. Tomb. Pass the turn. I mean, I guess at some point, we'd like to find a Taunter. Taunter would be our best find, I think. Opponent goes to combat. Gets and hits us. Well, yeah, let's shock the Shade for now. Take 2. Freebooter. Sure. I mean, we have plenty of ways to answer it, so that's fine. I'd rather draw a card and then just kill the freebooter, I think. So opponent takes the shock. Well, draw a card. Untap. Play a land. Actually, yeah, let's just stomp the Kite Sail. Pass the turn. Maze Mind Tome's great. Great. We're going to draw so many cards and then gain a bunch of life off of it. Opponent gets it, hits us. They gotta have a handful of remove. They're not playing lands either. I guess a lot of 4-drops is also possible, but like, what could their hand be? All right, Null Priest, sure. Well, draw a card. Draw a card. Untap. No land, eh? Well, Bone Crusher. Null Priest. See if we, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see if we can hit a land. I kind of want to hold on to the Spikefield Hazard. It actually seems decent in this matchup. All right, there's a land. Play the land, and yeah, let's keep passing. Keep passing, keep tobing. Back up to 16. And then eventually we're just going to flood the board with creatures. Opponent, going to get and hit us. Down to 14. Sure. I think next turn we finally get to start playing threats. Well, draw with Tome. Untap. Play a Bone Crusher. Let's play a Spikefield Hazard now. Pass the turn. Start getting the removal out of our opponent's hand. Wouldn't mind hitting another Tome to keep the card draw going. Opponent attacks. Kill the Scorpion. Go to 13. Go to 11. Alright, so there's some reanimation. We will shock Kite Sail. Spikefield Hazard. Archfiend's Vessel. Draw a card. So Royal Eruption. Kill the Scorpion. Play a land. Tectonic Giant. Bone Crusher Giant. Hit ya. Down to 20. What is it, 27? Oh my god, they gain a lot of life. Alright, well, we've started to eat into their very high life total. Oh, I mean, now we get to flood the board super quickly. And we have a lot of damage with these Torbrads. Call the Death Dweller. Gonna get back their dorks again. Opponent. So let's see, this has Death Touch. This has Double Menace. Alright, untap, draw. Torbrad. Go to combat. Attack. Hit you for 5. Opponent blocks. Goes to 10. Yeah. Well, 1-mana Incinerator. Tectonic Giant Part 2. Mountain. Go. Can you beat the big red board, opponent? I'm guessing no. I mean, this is a ridiculous board now. We played like a control deck there, but I think it's going to be enough. Sure, shade us. That's fine. We can gain 4 at any time, which, okay. Grows Null Priest. Alright, let's scry. Gain some life. Just in case, and opponent scoops it up, and that was a good performance. Wow. I mean, we essentially played like a control deck there. That was very much mono-red control. But it got the job done. I like this deck. This deck's sweet. I know it's always tough because when you hear mono-red, you think of something very specific. You think of like, play all the 1-drops, attack. But that is definitely not what this deck is. Like, this is very much different than that. I don't even know, like, big red, bird red, taunter red. I don't even know, but Maze Mind Tome was definitely the card of the match that time. Like, we drew so many cards, allowed us to kill so much stuff, and then eventually just like, boom, 1-mana Incinerators, Torbrads, Tectonic Giants, gotcha. Well, that was good. That was real good. Sweet. All right, budget magic time. We are big redding in Standard, and we'll see. Ariane might be a tricky matchup. Alright, Mountain Go. So we do have Maze Mind Tome, which is good against a controlling deck, and, well, we might be using it to try to hit land drops. It's not super exciting. Hopefully our opponent's a more creature-y Ariane deck where we can actually kill things. Crocs, well, that is a creature. Let's scry. Tectonic Giant gonna have to go bottom. We'll discard a shock. Probably isn't gonna be great. Yeah, let's draw. Well, play the land, pass the turn. Doom Foretold seems absurd against us. Land for our opponent. Ooh, good land. Skyclave Apparition. Well, we will draw a... Yeah, draw a card. Untap. Lose our Maze Mind's Dome. Play the land, and yeah, let's Torbrand. Oh, hopefully this is not Doom Foretold. That would be sad. That would be real sad. If Torbrand lives, we can Royal Eruption. Oh, no. They could take it down. We want to Royal Eruption our opponent's face for 5 and then be able to Incinerator for 1, but... I mean, I guess this is okay. Opponent's going to loot, kill Torbrand. At least that's a Elspeth Conqueror's Death gone, which is a card that we did not want to deal with. Opponent gets in, hits us. Well, stomp our opponent. Or their Narset, rather. Play a Bone Crusher. Ship the turn. Wow, this is ambitious. Another How do they ever cast a Kroxa? Well, we'll discard Royal Eruption, I guess. They're actually going to have double black, double red in this 5-color deck. Opponent plays a tome. Yeah. Passes. Well, go to combat. Attack. Opponent takes it. Shock our opponent. Incinerator. And see what happens. Opponent scries. To the bottom. Okay, draws. They don't have enough cards in the graveyard to get back a Kroxa yet. Ha-ha! That's a whiff! That's a whiff! Like a Predation Hush, will ya? Okay. Oh, give us a good draw. Give us a good draw. That's a decent one. We will shock our opponent's face. That'll also hit the Skyclave Apparition. We will play a Maze Mind's Tome. We will hit him for 10. And things are looking up. Things are looking way up. Even against Yarion. Incinerator power. Big red. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. About it. I mean, I assume they're done. Shatter the Sky. All right, so this keeps our opponent alive, but we have so many bird spells. Like, we just need to hit a burn spell. Any bird spell. Draw a card. That's a Royal Eruption. Untap, draw. Main. Royal Eruption. Your face. Oh, we managed to raise the Maze Mind's Tome. Yeah, opponent can draw a card, but they're a counter short from gaining the life, and that should do it. Whew. All right. All right, all right. Against a control deck, even. All right, so opponent is playing some sort of 5-color Yarion deck. Well, I think this is a Robber the Rich matchup. So bring in Robbers. Go down Shocks. Red Cat Melee, no. I kind of want this Ox of Agonis, too. Maybe Ox and Taunter out. This is the matchup. Actually, we might have to trim even more Taunters. This is a matchup where Taunter's pretty weak, I think, because the problem with Taunter here is Taunter gets got by Elspeth Conqueror's Death. And we already saw it in our opponent's deck, so I assume they have many. Well, we'll keep this. Robber is a little weaker on the draw, but that's okay. Mountain Go. Boot it. Swamp and Tome. Well, land and... Yeah, I guess we go Robin. I don't think we get to steal a card, though. This is the play draw issue with Robber the Rich. Opponent scries to the bottom. Well, get in, hit you. Ship the turn. Island for our opponent. Block of Predation. Takes a Taunter. Yeah, well. Robber the Rich still not doing it. Opponent takes it. Unfortunately, we're drawing many lands, which isn't ideal. Many lands are being drawn. It's making it hard to get out of cards for this Robber of the Rich. All right, opponent gets a Yaria. Ooh, are we actually going to get a Robber trigger? We are not. Well, get in, hit you. Opponent down to 14. Yeah, we're having a heck of a time getting the Robber down. Or getting a card off Robber. Opponent scries. So, I think they're setting up to blink. They've actually got a lot of scry value. They've scried to the bottom every time. I think they're setting up to try to play this Yarion, and wow, they cash it in. Okay. So, opponent's trying to find lands, and that's good for us. Opponent resetting that with Yarion would have been pretty bad. Fable Passage. Cracks it. Boy, we'd love to steal a card with this Robber. We'd love to steal a Maze Mind Tome. That would be the best. All right, opponent has more tomes. So opponent's going to keep drawing cards. Well, untap, Mountain. Royal Eruption, our opponent. So we can finally steal a Robber of the Rich card. Huh. I don't know about scrying first. So I guess opponent's trying to leave a land on top? Alright, sure. Opponent goes to 13. Incinerator. Pass the turn. Do they have removal? Oh, no! Alright. Who knows what could be in our opponent's deck? It seems like literally anything. Opponent, tap land. Oh, more mountains. Yeah, now I think we're pretty out of it. We needed that Robber of the Rich to generate value. We also have not drawn any of our Maze Mind Tome, and our opponent's drawn 2 Maze Mind Tomes. And that is swinging this game in our opponent's favor. Land. Wow, they keep cashing in the... All right, well, I'm glad they're not blinking it with Yarion. That would be a problem. Oh, wait, they have an extra count? Oh, all right. So they are blinking it with Yarion. Yeah, this is tough. I'm not sure we can get out of this now. Well, play the land, Robber of the Rich. Go to combat. Oh, Robber should be sweet next game when we're on the play. Opponent's going to block. We will kill Yarion. But our opponent has the card draw, and we don't. That Extinction event really got us good. Opponent. Wow, this deck has just a little bit of everything. Bone Crusher Giant. Ugh. Well, and we're also very floody. Well, pass the turn. Opponent draws a card. This is one of the piliest Yarion piles I think I've ever seen in Standard. Opponent passes. Yeah, all right. And I don't want to get yelled at. All right, we'll play the mountain. We are up to 9 lands out of 16 cards. So that is another issue that we have going on at the moment, is just our opponent's got all the card draw. We got Wrath, and we have just brutally flooded. Brutally. Sure. I mean, I think there's a 0% chance we can win this game. But we're sticking in it because I don't want to get yelled at for scooping early. But it's getting close. Like, our opponent should be able to kill us pretty quickly here, I would assume. All right, Shark Typhoon. We can't kill it, and we empty our hand to kill it, and we'll scoop it up. All right, so opponent got us that time. Thankfully, we are on the play for game number 3, which means... Oh, boy, we've talked about this so many times with Robber of the Rich, which means Robber of the Rich should actually be much more effective this game. Also, hopefully we don't flood as hard as we did last game. That would be sweet. All right, we are on the play, game number 3, against Yarion Pile. Yarion Pile to the max. Oh, no, not like this. Well, okay. Sure. I mean, we can't keep mulliganing, but this hand's not exactly what we were hoping for. This hand seems very much set up to get got by removal and Rasp. Well, we're going to keep the 6. We're going to put, I think, Slang Fire to the bottom, and hope for the best, hope for the best. I mean, in theory, we kind of have like our combo, quote-unquote, of Tectonic Giant, Torbrand, Chandra, Incinerator. We don't have anything to do early, though, which is bad. An opponent, of course, has a tome. Alright, pass the turd. Yeah, we're on the wrong side of the card draw yet again. Opponent. Tomes. Scries. Oh, we could really use a tome. To the bottom, untap straws. Plays some blue mana. Palaka Predation. Alright, so we need a Robber of the Rich, or we need a Maze Mind Tome. Like, we gotta be able to fight fire with fire. We need to be able to draw some cards. We're not going to win the game if our opponent's generating card advantage, and we are not. Takes the Torbrand. Sure. So I assume this means our opponent has removal / Wrath in hand. I'll play a land, Tectonic Giant. Bonus Scries to the top. Untaps. Fabled Passage. Gets a Plains. Passes. Well, go to combat. Attack. So we can, like, ping into Incinerator, but then we're just set up to get got by Extinction event. We could also try to draw some card draw. Yeah, alright, we got Incinerator. Hit you for 3. Ooh, alright. Hit you for 3. Well, game on. Oh boy, this still gets got by, well, 2 incinerators. This still gets got by Extinction Event, and I will cry. I will literally cry if our opponent untaps an Extinction Event. 2 incinerators. On the other hand, if our opponent does not have the right card, there's a, can we win next turn? 12, 13, 14. Not quite. All right, opponent has Elspeth Conquers Death. Sure. Hits an Incinerator. And passes. I'll play Tectonic Giant. Attack you. Opponent gains a bit of life. Scries to the bottom. Drops to 12. Again, potentially presenting lethal, but will it actually happen? What do you got, opponent? What do you got? Yarion's not in hand yet. Land, untap, 3 cards in hand. Still weak to Extinction Event. Hagara's Mauling. Okay. Opponent passes. Oh, Phoenix of Ash. Go to combat. Attack. Opponent's at 12. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, let's draw cards. We'll take Robber. Opponent goes to 7. Pass the turn. Elspeth Conquers Death goes away. Oh, do we have a chance? Do we have a chance? Croxa. Well, we'll discard Spikefield Hazard. Opponent needs more than that, though. That's not enough by itself. They can't even get it back because their mana is crazy. Oh, Mountain. Robber of the Rich. Go to combat. Get emoted. Attack. Damage. Opponent makes a Shark. But is that even enough? I don't think so. Opponent goes to 4, and we still have 4. And we have Bone Crusher in hand. Yeah? I mean, opponent blocks and dies. Oh, taking out Yarya pile and Big Red. Big Red is actually performing pretty well. Alrighty then. Space White, sweet. Oh, I like this deck. I like this deck. Well, no taunting that game, but still a good performance. Oh my god. Oh no. Alright, Big Red time. I have not seen a Garuda deck in literally forever. I'm very scared. Oh my goodness. You always gotta look and see if there's a companion up here. Garuda is not what I was expecting to see. This is old school. Old school. Well, oh, we need to hit land drops, so we also need to kill the dork. How we gotta kill the dork? Kill the dork. Trust the magic gods. Well, the easiest way to beat Garuda is to keep our opponent from resolving Garuda. More naturalists. Land, please. Well, it's a land. Alright, so play the land. Play a tome. Dig for lands and burn spells, I guess? Like, a burn spell is almost land destruction. Opponent gets and hits us. Alright, let's scry. Oh, we're gonna keep it. Yeah, it's not a land, but it does kill the naturalist, which is pretty good. Opponent's a long way away from Garuda. I'm surprised they didn't put... Whoa, they can't... Oh, yeah. They can't actually put it in hand. Now they can. Alright, well, let's scry. Now we're definitely looking for lands to the bottom. Draw a card. Well, that's technically a land. Alright, play the land. Are we going to be fast enough? Our opponent's going to start going off here in a second. Swamp. Up to 4 mana. Ooh, how devastating will their Garuda be? 4 mana is also a big number for our opponent because... Alright, there's Pelucranos. Well, let's... Yeah, we need lands. Let's scry. Gain some life. We would love to get down Brash Taunter. Alright, Taunter to the bottom. Alright, there's a land. Well, play the land. Play Taunter. Pass the turn. Would you like to fight it, opponent? Bring it. Oh boy. Alright, so opponent's almost to Garuda, which is very scary. Opponent passes, we draw a mountain. So what? How does this work? If damage be dealt to it, prevent the damage. So if we fight this... Oh my god, I don't know what happens. Alright, let's try this. Fight Pelucranos. Hit our opponent. Incinerator. And... Maze Mine Tome. Go. Well, that worked. Opponent's out of 14. Do they get to play Garuda? Alright, so Garuda's coming next turn. Ooh, but this turn's gonna be sweet. Yeah, that's a Nightmare Shepherd, sure. Opponent. Also gonna be so good. We got the combo set up. Scry. Do we want a mountain? So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's keep it. Draw the mountain. Go to our main phase. Play the mountain. Play Torbrand. fight Pelucranos. Hit our opponent. Kill Nightmare Shepherd. No attacks. Ho! The combo's set up! Massacre Worm. Okay, so that gets rid of Brash Taunter, but that's all. I don't know if that's actually going to be enough for our opponent. Okay. Massacre Worm. Brash Taunter down. We take 2. But we have Bone Crusher in hand. Oh, let's scry. We need one more burn spell to close it out immediately. Oh, that'll do it. Slang Fire. Untap draw. Slang Fire your face. And kill Massacre Worm. Bone Crusher your face. And Incinerate! Ozdeck's sweet. Ozdeck's so sweet. The bad news is we can't actually stop a Garuda. So how do we fight this? I guess Oxymogonus and Phoenix of Ashen, because our opponent's going to be milling us. Robber of the Rich, I think, even though we're on the play, or on the draw. What is the toughness of Humble Naturalists? 1-3. Does Shock actually do anything? It might not. Maybe we don't Robber. Is Robber worth it? It's better on the play than on the draw, and we are on the draw. Well, I think we can definitely cut Shock. I think we gotta bring in the graveyard stuff. What else do we cut, though? 1 Incinerator? 1 Slang Fire, 1 Bone Crusher? Let's try it like that. I'm not 100% sure if this is correct or not. I feel like there's not many shock targets in our opponent's deck, so I think that's fine. I don't really like trimming our big payoffs, but hopefully it's still fine. Well, we got Taunters, and I do like Taunters. Landfire about it. Well, Mountain Go. Although Taunter does get got by Massacre Worm, which we saw. Tab land for our opponent. Well, land, go. Opponent. Ramp time. Wolf Willowhaven. And a land. Alright, opponent's getting close. Well, Mountain, Phoenix of Ash. Hit ya. So opponent's potentially 2 turns away from Garuda. Ooh, that is scary. Opponent taps. Another Fabled Passage. Cracks it. I mean, I guess they do have to spend the mana to put it in hand. Unless they just happen to have another one in hand. Alright, Solemn, doing the ramping. More mountains. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. Attack pump. Hit ya, down to 14, and let's see how bad this goes. There's Garuda. How bad is it? Alright, opponent gets more Garudas. And a Massacre Worm, if they'd rather. Alright, takes Massacre Worm, kills our Phoenix. Yeah. Plays a land, hits us for 2. Well, land and Brash Taunter. Go. Oh, alright. Well, 2 Massacre Worms is, yeah, that's bad news. Bad news. Alright. That's a lot of Massacre Worms. So I think we're going to go down 2 Taunters, because they line up so poorly with Massacre Worms. Run it like that, and try to be a little more aggressive. I think our best bet is to do kind of what we did last game, where we get aggro, and then are able to close it out. Alright. This hand is medium. We can kill a Mana Dork, so hopefully they're on actual creature ramp, and not enchantment ramp. Tectonic Giant is good, but we don't have Robber of the Rich, or any early game plays. Well, land go. Booted. Swamp. Skull Prophet. Well, we will get rid of that. Robber of the Rich. Slang Fire. Well, land go. Opponent plays land. Gets Garuda. Alright, well, we will untap. Mountain. Tectonic Giant. Go. I mean, we do have 7 points of burn in hand. Land. Solemn. Play a mountain. Go to combat. Attack. Hit ya. Opponent jumps. Draws a card. Well, play Taunter. Pray for no massacres. Pass the turn. There's the land. There's the Massacre Worm. Of course. Hey. Yeah. Oh, play Torbrad. Play the land. Go to combat. Attack. Hit ya. Down to 12. Opponent blocks. Royal Eruption ya. Down to 7. So we're 1 point of damage short. We need any bird spell or our opponent to like mill a phoenix. Land. Cracks it. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We survived a Massacre Worm. Yeah, even with Torbrand's +2, this is 6. Spin it to win it. Wolf Willowhaven first. Okay. Now we spin to win. Well, let's see how much our opponent wins. Hits another Garuda, if they want. Only other option's a Solemn, which isn't that exciting. Gets a Garuda. Alright, there's our Phoenix. Opponent gets Kogla. I'll get back Phoenix. Go attacking. Maze Mind's Tome. Oh my god, this is so close. Opponent taps. Wow! Oh, what do they got? What do they got? What do they got? Opponent's at 4. This can deal 4. Do we live? Can they gain life? Wow, this is so close. Opponent. So they could hit us for 13, but that's not lethal. There's the attack. Blows up Maze Mind Tome. Well, we will scry. Tectonic Giant, too slow, to the bottom. We go to 3. Opponent knows they have to stop this Phoenix, because they're dead on board to Phoenix Pump. They don't know about Slaying Fire. I think the fact that our opponent's thinking for so long is good for us. It might mean they don't just have a like clear, obvious I win line, hopefully. Come on. Shift the turn, opponent. Shift the turn. Agonize. No way. Wow. Wow. Oh, no. Whoa. And we're dead. Oh, opponent needed a 3-piece combo. Oh, wow, that is unfortunate. Well, I mean, I do think that's a tough matchup because our opponent can just ramp into whatever. I also think that we played that pretty well, and we had our opponent dead to rights, but wow. I assume our opponent top decked that Agonizing Remorse because they had windows to cast it, and they also had to have a flyer, which their deck has almost none of. Whew. Yeah, that's a calculator beat. Calculator beat for sure. Ugh. Well, alright. Alright. Budget Magic time. We are big redding, Taunter redding in Standard. And well, we'll try this. I mean, only 2 lands, but we do have a Maze Mind's Tome to hopefully find more. Well, land go. Mountain for our opponent. Brushfire Elemental gets and hits us. Do we find a land? Yes. Well, since we found the land, we will just stomp on Brushfire. Ship the turd. This is a matchup where Taunter is so good. Opponent. Fabled Passage, Scavenging Ooze. Ooh, another land. Interesting. I'll play the land. Erupt on the ooze. That didn't sound right. Pass the turn. Opponent cracks the Fabled Passage. Gets a forest. Questing Beast? Questing Beast would be a little awkward. Oh, just okay. Sure. Crush it up, my friend. Oh, how do we want to do this? Torbrand would be sweet. Although it might be safer just to... Yeah, let's just kill Bone Crusher. Play Maze Mind's Tome. Because we don't really want our opponent to get down to Embercleave. That is a bit frightening. Tap land. Opponent passing. Well, let's scry. We'll keep Tectonic Giant. I like Tectonic Giant. Draw Tectonic Giant. This sets up the combo for next turn. So play Tectonic Giant. Next turn we can Torbrand, hit for 5, 1-mana Incinerator, and then we're pretty much where we want to be. Lovestruck Beast, certainly. And fouls it up. Well, let's scry. Yeah, we'll keep another tome for the future. Alright, so we get to play Torbrand. We get in with Tectonic Giant. 5U. Non-combat damage. Oh, opponent's gonna take it? Oh, dear. Alright. Well, Incinerator. 4-1. Pass the turn. And this is without finding... Oh, opponent's done. Done. And that was without Brash Taunter. And Brash Taunter is like our best card in this matchup. It's so good. It's so good. All right, what do we want against our opponent's deck? Probably just like up to Soul Seers. Maybe down like, one Slaying Fire. Well, let's go one Slaying Fire, one Shock. Soul Seer upside, it kills Questing Beast when our other stuff doesn't. And no. Well, it does kill Questing Beast when most of our other stuff doesn't, but it kills Lovestruck Beast when none of our other stuff does. Well, okay. Pray for lands. All right, there's an Innkeeper. That's not a land. Boot it. Well, we'll see. If we can get to the Taunters... Oh dear, 2 Innkeepers. That's not good. That's also not a land. Well, kill an Innkeeper. Oh boy! Lands, please, Magic Gods. Please. Land. Lovestruck Beast, draw a card. Bone Crusher, draw a card. Alright, well, do we find lands? That is the entire game. Not a land. Oh no. Well, this is a little tough. We mulliganed, and now we're getting the old Mana Screw Arena. Opponent, land, gets and hits us. 14. Well, okay. We have officially drawn more Royal Eruptions and lands, which is not exactly where we want to be. There's a Questing Beast, and yeah, now this one is... It's just over. Yeah, well, that's Magic. Sometimes you don't draw lands, and you don't really do anything. Not changing anything, though. Like, I feel like this setup is good. We just need to actually hit our lands. Like, the Brash Taunters are so good against our opponent's deck. They're so good. Well, we'll keep. Land, go. This hand, at least, we have the upside of having Tome to smooth things out. Well, land and Tome. Go. Opponent, land, Brushfire. Well, let's scry. Soul Seer to the bottom. Take a beating. Play the land. Shock Brushfire. Ship the turn. I mean, we should be able to set up Tectonic into Incinerator, which isn't bad. Once we get Incinerator down, then we get to throw the burn at our opponent's face and still kill their stuff. Opponent, land. Runs out of Bone Crusher. Well, let's draw a card. Yeah, let's scry. Huh. Well, we do want the land, so we'll keep it. Play a mountain. Tectonic Giant. Go. Opponent gets and hits us. Down to 50. We really need the 3 damage from this Tectonic Giant. Lovestruck Beast. Ugh, Lovestruck Beast. Well, this is fine, I think. Go to combat attack. Hit you for 3. Opponent blocks. Whoa, no blocks. Okay. Well, mountain. Incinerator. Huh. Pass the turn. Alright, let's stomp our opponent's face. Kill the token. Boot it. Is it worth blocking? The problem is they can Ember Cleave. Well, let's scry. See what's on the top of our deck. Alright, we'll take it. Cleave away. I think if our opponent cleaves us, we just win on the backswing. This Royal Eruption is actually pretty good. That allows us to go at our opponent's face and... Okay, Vivian. Wow, do we get to win or no? I think so. I think this works. Oh man, we're seeing the full combo. So we get to Royal Eruption, our opponent's face, hit the Lovestruck Beast, stomp our opponent's face, hit the Lovestruck Beast, attack, Tectonic Giant, our opponent's face, kill the blocker. Oh, the big red combo. Oh, that was beauty. That was beauteous. That shows the power of the deck. That shows it. That shows exactly why we're playing this combination of cards together and what it can do. And the explosiveness it provides. Our opponents seem to have a lot of defense. They had Vivian. They had a 5/5 Lovestruck Beast. And thanks to Incinerator and Tectonic Giant. And this is without some of our other pieces on the battlefield. But even just those two together are so strong. All right. That was a good one. That was a good one. Well, sweet. So what do we learn this week about Big Red in Standard? And overall record-wise, 4-1 in our video matches, technically 4-2. Overall, there was another Yarion matchup where I ended up just getting stuck on 2 lands and didn't really do anything, and we lost. But still, 4-2, that's still a pretty solid record for a budget deck. Most importantly, the deck's just really fun, and it's got all these really sweet synergies. So I thought the deck was just a blast to play. Like, for most red decks, you're kind of just like going aggro, attacking, and that's kind of your game plan. And to me, that's not really my play style. That's not really what I enjoy. This was about a red deck that I thought was just absurdly fun to play. We saw most of the deck's cool synergies on display throughout our matches. We got to see Brash Taunter just winning games by itself. Our very last game, where we got the insane Incinerator, Tectonic Giant, kill your stuff, sweep the board, lethal strike you. We got to see all that stuff happen, and it felt really, really good. So I really like this deck. And the other thing I wanted to point out, one last thing about this deck, is I actually think this is one of those decks that just happens to be cheap. If I was going to build a non-budget version of this deck, it would be very, very close to exactly what we're playing here. Like, maybe I'd change a couple of sideboard slots, but this is very much just what the deck is, and I feel like this is close to what I would consider to be the optimal build, so it's not like you're gonna have to spend a lot of money to, make it better to compete with it. I think it's pretty competitive as it is, and it is certainly super, super fun, and does all kinds of just really cool, really ridiculous things. So if you like the idea of being mono red, but you don't like the 1-drop attack, attack, attack plan, want to do something different, want something synergistic and fun, and plus, some people just can't beat Brash Taunter. That is one of the lessons we learned. Some decks are just very close to drawing dead against it. The fighting ability is so good. It's even better when you get Torbrand and Incinerator. The synergy in this deck is just, it's so sweet. It's so, so sweet. So I love this deck. It's cheap, it's competitive, it's fun. If you want something different to play in Standard, check it out, give it a try. And that has been our budget magic for this week. Big red for Zendikar Rising Standard 3.0. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.